What's up, team? Welcome to Chargers Daily, where every day is a great day to talk Bolts. My name is Chris Cash. It is Thursday, August 20th, and we've got a preseason game on tonight. So while we got to get through all the bad vibes of the offensive line injuries, we're going to just focus on football, and we're going to focus on the things that we can watch and get excited about the boys for the Chargers playing against the San Francisco 49ers. We're also going to be talking about Herbert playoff wins and how, I'm going to call it now, I think Herbert gets his first playoff win if we make the playoffs this year. We're also going to be talking about the 5 things I want to watch tonight, and then we're going to be talking about the offensive line fallout and some moves that I think we can make in order to help us keep this positive momentum moving up into the season. So huge shout out to Kalshi, official sponsor of Chargers Daily this year. We're going to be talking. We hit our first bet, so we're 1-0 there. We'll be making another bet today on the game tonight. Comment of the day goes to Chargers diehard fan 67, and I love this comment because I thought it was a hilarious idea. When this injury, talking about Tyler Biadasz, I'll listen to callers announcers. They said Tyler Biadasz, but apparently it's Biadasz. Thanks, Clayton. So when this injury could have been avoided, I think the 49ers need to replace our injured players, being as they are the ones that did this on purpose. It's bullshit expletive. I agree, Chargers diehard fan. How funny would that be? If you hurt somebody, you have to give up somebody on your own roster. Oh, that would be fantastic. Can you imagine? Yep. Well, we will take him and the old switcheroo. Hilarious idea. We got 10 days till roster cut down, 20 days till NFL kickoff, and 24 days for official Chargers. Can you believe that, guys? 24 days. I can smell it. I can feel it in my bones. NFL news. Trevon Diggs signed with Seattle. So I'm excited about that signing because Trevon Diggs is not a good cornerback. Yes, he led the league in interceptions, but do you know why guys get so many interceptions? Because offenses strategically throw the ball to that area of the field. So week 4, wherever he is, let's just throw it to him. Cool, hope he gets some interceptions, man. That signing doesn't scare me at all. In fact, I'm excited about it. I want to see Herbert absolutely pick that man apart. And the reason I signed him is because Tyrion Arnold is not going to play. If you guys don't know what Tyrion Arnold did, he committed a robbery, a felony, and he was released by the Detroit Lions, which is sad because he's a pretty decent cornerback. But I just do not understand for the life of me. Oh, you committed a felony? Sure, let's go sign with the team and play some NFL football. What? You're not on the exempt list? What are we talking about? I don't know if you have to get signed to a team and then you get on the exempt list. I'm not sure the procedure's there. But somebody explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old child. Why can someone that commits a felony of this caliber that gets released by one team not be held accountable like the same people that, I don't know, wreck cars on the interstate, beat their spouse or their partner? I mean, why are these not held to the same standard? It's garbage. If there's going to be punishment, it has to be consistent across these different types of things. And I cannot believe that he even has an opportunity to play on an NFL team this year. We signed Liam Clifford, a wide receiver, and waived wide receiver Luke Grimm, who was a practice squad guy last year. Brennan Thompson got a shout out. He was listed as number 1 on Sports Illustrated Day 3 rookies that are turning heads in camp. Yeah, he is. 4.26 speed. Brennan Thompson. Love that. I love that he's getting hype. I love that he's number 1 on the list. Let's keep that going. So quick information about roster cutdown. It's August 30th at 6 p.m. And remember, we can keep 16 guys on the practice squad. I forgot that increased in recent years. But because of the International Pathway Program, we can keep up to 17. So we have an exempt spot for Lakin Vakalehi. He's the offensive lineman that's had struggled in the first game this year against Houston. He had a penalty. And then they will be announced on August 31st at 1 Eastern. Now, teams, we can place up to 2 players on injured reserve on or before August 30th with the designated to return status. So keep an eye on that. And the reason I wanted to talk about the practice squad, guys, is that I don't want you to just think about it as a collection of players that failed or a group of players that suck. Because there's been some really good NFL players needed some time to maturate, needed some time to vibe with their quarterback, needed some time to vibe with their OC, whatever. And I want you to think about a Charger player by the name of Adrian Phillips, who was cut 8 times by us. And then he responded by becoming a first-team All-Pro and Pro Bowler. And that is why the practice squad is important. Here's some other names. Adam Thielen spent 2013-ish, I want to say, on the Vikings practice squad. Had a great career. Shaq Barrett, he was a practice squad guy. 19 and a half sacks in 2019, led the NFL. Darren Waller was a practice squad guy. Raheem Mostert. There are guys that can ascend and become NFL players. So don't sleep just because they're on the practice squad. All right, let's talk about the fallout of Tyler. I'm just going to say Tyler until I know if it's Biadish or Biadish. So we know it's ACL damage, and there's some additional left knee injury. At the time of this recording, he's out indefinitely. There's no further season-ending stuff. So Sebastian Valdez fell across his lower body, and he basically backflipped. Not good. He had a 71.5 PFF grade last year. He was 9th amongst centers in PFF grade, and 9th in blocking, 11th in pass protection. That sucks, man. Sucks to be a offensive lineman 1 or somebody that's in the top 12 of both parts for us to lose at the sign of the year. He's logged almost 5,200 snaps since 2021, which is the second most amongst NFL centers, which only of course, Chargers fans. Of course this happens to us. Oh, the center that's played the second most snaps since 2021? Man, heck yeah. Let's get him to sign. There's no way he gets hurt, right? Frick, man. I feel like I need Phillip Rivers to get... Gosh darn it. Fiddlesticks. Get him a ruse. We need some Phillip Rivers dialogue here. So I guess Jake Slaughter was listed as a second center, so now he's going to get his first shot. Well, no more excuses now, Jake. You were the number 1 ranked center coming in by the Chargers, and you were the number 1 ranked center coming in according to draft analysts. So remember, guys, Slaughter was awesome at Florida. I mean, awesome. 99 pass block efficiency. That was tied 4th amongst FBS centers. He only had 7 college penalties. And he doesn't have a choice now. So that means we're going to have to put Cody at left guard likely. Branson Taylor, he's going to be fighting with that. Or do we put Branson Taylor at left tackle until we get Rashawn back? So remember, Cody had a great grade against Houston in a small sample size. So I started going through and doing some deep research on free agencies, looked at Spot Track and salaries, and I made a list of some ideas on who we may be able to trade for. So the first one is Kevin Zeitler. He's a free agent, but he had a 74.5 Pro Football Focus grade in 2025. Only 16 pressures on 590 pass blocking snaps, and then we can just sign him. And it's a veteran presence at worst. If we have to put Tyler out for the year, we can move Cole over to left guard if we need to. Strange has over 1,500 career snaps at left guard, and he has about half that at right guard. So we can move Cole to left guard, and we can put Zeitler there if that's the way we want to go about it. Now, that's only if the young guys aren't performing well. If the young guys are performing the zone blocking scheme and they're doing the cardio that we need from McDaniel, cool, let's play him. I'm just shooting some names out there. So the first one is Kevin Zeitler. Now, the best one for trades, the really one I'd be wanting to look for, because I don't want to give up a lot, like maybe a 6th, 7th round pick. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Giants made a deal like that. But Austin Corbett from Buffalo, I think, would be a decent one, because he's not on the trade block, but he's one of these guys that's been pushed down to the back of the depth chart. He's got 94 career games, 78 starts. He's played center, left guard, and right guard. He had a 67.8 grade in 2025 and only allowed 2 sacks. So he's got some injury history there too, so that's going to lower his compensation. And then the other one is James Daniels. If you guys don't remember him, he's had some Pro Football Focus grades in the 60s, low 70s, and only 6 sacks allowed across 7 NFL seasons. Now, he's had multiple injuries. He signed a big contract with Miami 2.5 years ago, but he hadn't played center since 2019. But we could use him in the guard stuff. So it's going to be what the medical evaluations look at on him. So James Daniel, let's kick the tires on him. And then Kevin Zeitler, I think that's a free agent one we could do. You know, with Daniels, he was a bit, in 2022, he signed a 3-year, $26.5 million contract with the Steelers. And then the Dolphins tried it, but he got released in February this year because he was hurt. Last couple, we've got Graham Glasgow, 147 career games. He's just old. Last year, his PFF grade was really bad. It was 55. But again, what are we going to do when we're desperate? And then there is a depth piece on the Texans that I like, Jarrett Patterson. So we'd have 2 Jarrett Pattersons. How funny would that be? He's got 21 career starts, and he's been bumped down to 3. So he is a guy that I feel like we could get for very cheap draft capital. Again, sub 60 PFF grade. Not happy about it, but again, these are our options. So I say right now, let's just let the youngins go for it, and let's go from there. That's all we can do. So those are the guys I like. But again, there's a reason those guys aren't signed, because they're all sub 60 PFF grades. And I'm just saying, I'm throwing out names here, guys. It's like speed dating. All right. It's not fun. Probably not going to find anything that's worth dating, but you never know. Maybe get lucky. I don't know. Speed dating. Did it twice. 0 for 2 back in the day. 0 for 2. All right, guys, let's talk about the game tonight. Now, before the season even kicks off, everyone's making predictions. Who wins the division? Who makes the playoffs? Who's lifting the trophy at season's end? On Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform, you can trade those predictions in a love market. So we're going to do one tonight. And I think that the over-under for tonight's game against the 49ers is 38.5. I like betting unders on preseason games just because, well, a lot of times, even if they score in the first quarter, it's usually slow after that. So I'm going to make my official bet for tonight. We're going to tease it up a little bit, and we're going to go under 42.5 points tonight. That's trading at 63 cents as of this recording. So 1 unit would pay back 0.54 units. So the official bet for tonight is the game under 42.5 points for 1.3 units. That would pay out total of 2 units. So this is our record. Guys, with betting, I believe in transparency. I'm going to put up all my picks here, how they do, how they don't do. So we are 1-0. We are up 0.9 units thanks to that Phillies win this week. And just remember, guys, on Kalshi, you're trading against someone else. You're not playing the sports book. If I put out $100, somebody else is picking up the $100 for the over. That means there's no house. There's no pit bosses. As the probabilities change, you can buy in or I can sell off my position. You can trade the draft pick, you can the game, whatever on Kalshi. Download the Kalshi app and use code FANARCHFOOTBALL to get $10 when you trade $10. KALSHI Kalshi. Trade on anything. Also, guys, shout out to FanArch. If you guys don't know, I don't give them enough credit, but we are a network of people that talk about the things they're most passionate about, and so holler at my boys at FanArch. Good dudes. Good dudes. Let me do my thing. All right, let's talk about the 5 things to watch for tonight. Herbert's one-drive dress rehearsal. How does it look with the timing on the throws? Is it quick? What are we looking for with the connection? You know, Ladd had 2 red zone touchdowns Tuesday in practice. I want it to be good. Let's see how Jake Slaughter does at center. They're likely going to throw him in at the first unit. Just remember, guys, because we're going to need him to play well. I mean, we can't have a poor interior again. So let's watch the shotgun. I want to see how he does in the shotgun. Let's watch the protection. Let's see if he can recognize stunts from the defensive line and kind of go from there. That means Cody's going to be at left guard. Let's watch how Amari Hampton does behind the line. Remember, rookie year, 545 rushing yards and 192 receiving yards. We'll be using him in both roles. Let's make sure he looks healthy and comfortable. 4 is the backup quarterback position. How's it going between Trey and DJ? We saw that DJ outplayed Trey last game. Let's see if that's the case this game. I think DJ will start after Herbert, and then Lance will come in for mop-up duty. And then finally is, what is the defense going to look like coming out of the joint practice with the 49ers from Tuesday? So we stopped them a bunch in the 2-minute drill. Thule looked great. Khalil Mack produced a ton of would-be sacks. I just want to see if we're watching pressure. Are we going to be bringing in any exotic cornerback blitz packages? It's preseason, so we'll probably just be in a boring 4-3 and go from there. So that's what I'm watching for. You guys tell me some of the things I need to be watching for. Last things I wanted to touch on was Herbert is 0-3 in the playoffs. And I want to discuss which sample should judge a quarterback more, their regular season or their postseason wins. Because there's some not great regular season quarterbacks that have won postseason games. So I started looking at what are some quarterbacks that started 0-3 to start their playoff career and then ended up turning it around. I found 5 that I think you'll find rather interesting. And we're going to start with our boy Jack Kemp. He won the 4-start in the 1964 AFL Championship against the San Diego Chargers. Okay, we don't know about Jack Kemp. I get it. This is a long time ago, but you got to shout out to the boys, guys. You got to love the game. Now, this is where it gets fun. Randall Cunningham was 0-3 until he won number 4, beating New Orleans 36-20 in 1992. Now, here's my favorite. Peyton Manning started 0-3 in playoffs. He won number 4 with 377 yards, 5 touchdowns, and a perfect 158.3 rating against Denver. Then went back to win a Super Bowl with them later, too. Matt Ryan against Seattle. And then finally, Matthew Stafford. Now, those were with the Lions, and he went to the Rams and won. But I think that when people are judging someone for going 0-3 in the postseason is just not seeing how things end up. They're taking a graph and they're manipulating it to really prove their point. Now, again, there's other quarterbacks that have started 0-3 that, well, sucked in the playoffs their whole career. But I'm not leaving the door closed for what Herbert could become in the playoffs, especially given an opportunity. Now, in his 3 playoff appearances, 54% passing, 2 touchdowns of 4 interceptions, and a career playoff passer rating 64-7. Everything dips off. 67% completion rate in a regular season, 54 in playoffs. His touchdown ratio drops to 1.9%. Interception, 1.7 to 3.8%. That's got to change. But let's go back and look at the losses. I got some PTSD. I forgot about the Jacksonville game. We were up 27-0. And then the Jaguars came back and had the 3rd biggest playoff comeback in the history of the NFL. But Lawrence threw 4 interceptions in that game. We only scored 30. I don't know if that's just we ran prevent defense and then thought we won the game, but I don't want to talk about it. And then we've already talked about the Houston game. We've already talked about the New England game. But look at his regular season passing. He's got 24,820 regular season in 6 seasons. That's the 2nd most ever. And again, he would have broken the record last year if he would have played. He's got 19 game-winning drives since 2020. That's 3rd most in the NFL. 15 fourth quarter or overtime comeback wins, also 3rd most. Since 2020 on 3rd down, he's 1st in completions, 2nd in yards, and 2nd in touchdown passes. It's time to put it together, Herbs. So I'm calling it right here on this show. Justin Herbert's going to win his first playoff games if they make the playoffs this year. Let's get this O-line functioning. Don't have to be best in the league. I'd be happy with 16th, 18th. But I think this is the year that Herbert turns it around. So what do you guys think? Is it the regular season? Is it the playoffs? What defines a quarterback? But saying that Herbert is not playoff ready just means he's not ready or he wasn't ready yet. Even though last year, especially with offensive line, there's a lot of other things we could point fingers at. Certainly on the defense. So just remember, guys, keep the light on. There's been quarterbacks 0-3. People saying this about Peyton Manning at the time? Probably. People saying this about Matt Stafford? Definitely. Matt Ryan? Definitely. And they got that bugaboo off their shoulders. So let's add Herbert to that list. Team, that's all I got for today. I'll be back on Friday. I don't know if I'll have the game watched by Friday's episode, but if not, we'll definitely be going over it on Monday. I will try to stay up and watch it and get this recorded. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. Go Bolts.